What's happening, everybody? How you doing? I'm in St. Louis and St. Charles, to be exact, and just wanted to check in, kind of talk about. So let's get rid of that glare. Okay. Talk about what's on tap here. Uh, Tonight, I'm performing here at the Hollywood Casino in St. Charles, and I'm going to be with Tommy DiCarlo of Boston. So this is a pretty cool bill tonight. Going to have a set of Chicago music from me, Boston set of Tommy and Blue Oyster Cult. Can't wait to see my buddies in Blue Oyster Cult again. Worked with them a few different times over the years. But anyway, so that's going to be a lot of fun tonight and tomorrow night down in just outside of Charlotte uh, at Dan Jansen's event, the speed skater, the Olympic speed skater, Dan Jansen, good buddy of ours. It's got a charity golf event. It's a Generation Radio. Me, Jay, Ferroni, Yankton, Chris Rodriguez will be down there tomorrow night for that show, and then Jay and I play golf for a couple days. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Tommy and I just were up in Quebec. There's some great photos I'll post later of that. But Tommy DiCarlo and I just did three dates in Quebec, Sherbrooke, Quebec City, and Montreal, and it was a blast. And apparently, we're going to be going back there. But so anyway, that's what's happening. So tonight, like I said, me, Tommy, and Blue Oyster Cult here in just outside of St. Louis in St. Charles. Tomorrow night with Generation Radio in is it Daniel Island? Is that what it is? I'm so sorry to not have all my facts straight here. And then going out on the Beatles tour, like the third week of October. Christopher Cross, David Pack of Ambrosia, the original voice, Maxi Priest, me, and Joey Molland of Badfinger. We're going to be all over performing. What are the albums? I'm such an idiot. I'm going to be barbecued. I'll let you guys. I know a lot of you are coming, so I'll let you in the comments remind me of the music that we're going to be performing. Which Beatles albums? Other than that, just getting ready for next year. Oh, one thing I want to ask you. I want to hear. I'm going to be working up. Jay and I have been talking about this. Jay DeMarcus and I've been talking about putting some songs that maybe have not been performed in a while into either some medleys or full songs. And I get asked this a lot over the years, especially lately, because there's generations coming up, like right behind me. Jay DeMarcus is the next generation. He's 10 years younger than me. I'm 62. He's around 51, 52. And they came up at a time, that generation came up at a time when discovering Chicago on the 80s, during the 80s era. And then funny story is that he tells that he went to his father and said, "You got to check this great new band out." And his dad goes, "Jay, let me turn you on to what Chicago is about," and takes him back through the 70s. So there are a lot of, we saw this up in Quebec too, so I started talking about this with that team of, what music is, and specific to a region and specific to a generation or generations. So here's the deal. When I think about all the years that I've been performing this music, and of course my era of Chicago, my contribution is the 80s. half of the eight, let's put it this way, Chicago greatest hits 82 to 89, right? If you have that album, half of that material is my era. I wrote a couple of songs on that greatest hits album, What Kind of Man Would I Be, and We Can Last Forever. I sang, half of the record, like I said, with Champlin. And then I run into people all the time that are from my generation and the next generations down. Jay's era, and then even the next generations. And I'm working with a great new artist named Stevie Matthew. Wait till you hear his stuff. This 19-year-old kid, a phenom out of LA. And he's bringing up all these deep cuts and of the 80s era. So I want to know what any of you would love to hear, because I'm going to start working this stuff up. I'll start doing it on my community.jasonchef.com. I'll give you little snippets here and there, but the real laboratory will be over in my community.jasonchef.com, of bringing all of these songs that have never really seen the light of day. Certainly deep cuts, but then definitely all the hits of the 80s, and specifically my contributions from Chicago 18, 19, 21 on all the way up to 36, I'm sorry. Chicago 36, can you believe that? All those records. So I want to know what you want to hear from those albums. I'll tell you right now that what's at the top of my mind. Chicago 18 had one huge hit, Will You Still Love Me? And then it had a pretty moderate hit, If She Would Have Been Faithful. I'm definitely going to dust that one off and get ready to perform live where people want to hear it. Again, this is all a test. So, If She Would Have Been Faithful, What Kind of Man Would I Be? Niagara Falls was a single. I don't think it did that well, but it's a great song, Bobby Caldwell. So just as in terms of having like maybe a little snippet of it, a medley, to show people who came up during that era. Again, those of you that those are your songs, I want to hear from you. Chicago 19, I Don't Want to Live Without Your Love. It's really has not been performed. That was a number 3. That's one of Chicago's biggest hits. Number 3, Look Away. People know that. Number 1, one of Chicago's 3 number 1 singles, the fastest rising to number 1. Billboard Song of the Year, 1989. That one definitely, I'm performing that already in my solo shows, as well as in some other configurations. So those singles, What Kind of Man Would I Be was off that record. You're Not Alone. So those are the ones that just come off the top of my head. Chicago 21, we didn't have hits, but they were Diane Warren songs, and they're great songs, maybe dusting them off. Chasing the Wind and Explain It to My Heart. I'm looking for people who's out there that these songs resonate with. And then just keep going. Go into songs on these records that you loved. I'm really speaking to the people who grew up during this, like, again, Jay's generation that came up smack in the middle of this 80s. And I hear from a lot of you all the time. If you go to YouTube and see the video for Will You Still Love Me, that's got, I think, 14 million views. Maybe it's more than, I can't remember, but it's a ton. And the comments are just blowing my mind of people that say, I was in ninth grade when this song came out. This was a song that's attached to my first love. People, I got married to this song. We've got kids and now grandkids. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for people who have specifically been influenced, inspired, and grown up to the Chicago music of the 80s. I love the 70s, believe me. That's my era of growing up. Grew up being heavily influenced and loved and still love the music of the 70s of Chicago, which paved the way. But my era of the 80s, that's what I'm looking for. So please let me know what you want to hear, and I'm going to start working it up. Again, I'll give you little snippets here on social media outlets, but if you want to really get into this laboratory experiment, go to the community.jasonchef.com. Free to join, and going into next year, this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Alrighty, so hope everybody's having a great day. And for those of you coming to see us tonight in St. Louis or tomorrow in just outside of Charlotte, can't wait to see you. All right, or the Beatles tour. All right, bye now. Oh, also, do not respond to any comments in this for this video here on Facebook or wherever it'll show up, saying, please private message me. I am the official Jason Chef chat. There is none on social media platforms. If you want to chat with me, go to my community.jasonchef.com. It's the only place where you can go that's safe. But other than that, on these platforms, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, if anybody says, hey, friend, and it says that it's me, please contact me. I really wanted to speak to you privately. That's not me. Do not fall for it. Okay, bye.